What is happening, people? I'm Harry Scarf, your host, and today we are discussing a defeat to Wolves. I'm joined by three fabulous guests. Firstly, Haz, how are you doing? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, you're good, brother.
Right, it's just Haz then. Just seems to be Haz. So, Marlon Hotspur, I'll come to you first. How are you doing?
Big up. How you guys doing? I'm doing excellent. Here from Denver, Colorado, making my debut on the show with you guys. So I appreciate it. It's unfortunate we'll be talking about a defeat instead of a victory, but it is what it is, and we're here to ride it out. Pleasure to meet you, my homie.
Yeah, pleasure to have you on. So thank you very much for giving us your time. Brad Hotspur, how are you doing?
Not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. Disappointed with the result today, but I guess we all are really. So we'll just have to ride it out, as you say, and just go for the next game.
Absolutely, we will get onto it. And Haz, I believe, is having a few technical issues, so wait for him to join a bit later. But let's go through some of your comments in the meantime. Ryan, Ryan says this is for Harry and Harry only. Hold that. Got done double over by Little Wolves. Well, probably deserved that, to be fair. I did give it the big one, so I accept that. No, I shouldn't have said that, should I? I couldn't resist, to be fair. But yeah, big up everyone in the chat. Ryan, Simply Ace, Chris Peters. So big up to each and every single one of you. We'll go through your comments throughout today's show. But Haz, hopefully got it all sorted. How you doing?
Yeah, we got there in the end. I don't know what was wrong. For some reason, I could hear like background noise, and then I had to come back in because I don't know what it was. But maybe it's my headphones. I don't know. But anyway, we got there. Are we talking about the game straight away, or?
I was going to ask you how you were first, but crack straight into it. Okay, fair enough. Haz, I'll come to you first. I want to know your thoughts on the lineup because there were, 4 changes? Emerson comes in, Davis comes in, Basuma and Son also come in. So what do you make of the changes?
Let's start with the fullbacks. Predictable. Okay. I think he was always going to put Davies and Emerson, unfortunately, which, as you know, in the pre-match, I really disagree with in the preview. I wanted to see Van der Ven on the left back, Davies in the middle, and I wanted Dragusin on the right because I do not trust Emerson. I'd rather see any of you three on the right-hand side of Emerson. That's how bad it is. Okay, in the middle, Basuma for Bentancur wasn't a surprise in the sense that I kind of thought it might have been a good move because Bentancur hasn't really been the same place since he came back from his injury, and Basuma, Son, Maddison were our best midfield at the start of the season, so that kind of wasn't a surprise. As for Son, the same thing. It wasn't really surprising because I think as being a club captain, regardless of his performance, he was always going to come back into the team. I'm sure we'll touch on his performances later on. But the changes I didn't agree with fully, as I just said, but it was kind of predictable. I kind of thought Ange was going to do these changes. So, yeah. But also, I said I don't agree with them all. So.
No, fair enough. I mean, that's the beauty of opinions, isn't it, really? But Brad, I'll come to you next. What were your thoughts on that starting 11? Any surprises in there for you, or was it what you expected?
Oh, that's what I expected. I don't agree with Haz, actually, about Van der Ven on the left and Dragusin on the right, for the simple reason that we've got 2 very good central defenders in Romero and Van der Ven, so why split them up? And also, I think Dragusin, he can play right back, but that's in a normal back 4 or a back 3. I don't think with the inverted right backs that we use or full backs that we use, he's been at the club long enough to probably get the hang of it. So he would have made more changes to do that lineup. So it didn't surprise me.
But then, when you thought that Van der Ven would be a better matchup to someone like Neto than someone like Emerson or Davies?
Yeah, but then you're changing things, aren't you? You're changing things around all the time, and you want to limit your changes. And I think, Davies is a backup left-sided defender or a left back. Emerson's a backup right back, so it's just like for like when you replace them. I mean, very unlucky that we lose 2 of our fullbacks for the one game. But I don't think, although we're conceding goals that I don't think we should be conceding, I don't really think the problem is in our defence at the moment.
I think it's all over the place. But anyway.
Fair enough. But Brad, I will come to you. I've asked you. I've completely forgot. I've asked you already. There you go. Marlon Hotspur, I'll come to you next. What were your thoughts on that starting 11? Were there any surprises in there for you? And obviously, it's easy to kind of say this after the game, but was there anything you would have changed?
Yeah, look, I I have to respectfully also disagree with Haz, my homie. I don't think that we can afford to do experiments and see if Van de Ven is going to be a good left back, or to see if or a right back, or however it is you want to put him. I don't think right now we can afford to be playing with our lineup. And today is the game that just shows that, right? The way the result ended up being, it probably could have been even more lopsided had we tried to do some tweaking of the squad. But look, when I seen the squad, I was happy with it. I'm not gonna lie. Davies is a Swiss Army knife type tool that you want to have at your disposal at any time, and he does the job. He does the job, and I would prefer him over a makeshift left back. And the same thing with Poro. Royale. I would prefer Royale over a makeshift right back. He's not my ideal replacement for Poro. Don't get me wrong, but the lineup today, my homies, was a good lineup. It was a lineup that was capable of beating most of these Premier League teams we go up against. There's no excuse. There's no excuse as to why we lost today. The lineup really had nothing to do with it. These guys are professionals. They need to step up when called upon. And today they just, I mean, I hate to say it, but they just didn't cut the mustard today.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And big up to all of you as well in the comments. Tom81 says, big up all. Problems, defenders who can't header, midfielders who can't pass or shoot, wingers who can't cross, a striker who, well, just Richarlison. Well, that's one way of putting it. We've got Emerson Royale as usual. Absolutely. We've got Emerson Royale as usual as our dependable guy. So yeah, we've got lots of comments in there. So big up to each and every single one of you. A big up to that Spurs podcast, obviously Ryan, and all the rest of you in the comments. But we'll move on, and Haz, I will come back to you. What did you make of our start to the game? Let's not get to Wolves' goal first, but let's say the first 20-25 minutes. What were your thoughts on the start? Because for me, we started well, then it faded away. Why was that?
I mean, did we really start well? I thought it was quite same as before. Unfortunately, this style, I hate to say, I've said this on the previous podcast we've done there. I think it's just not going to win us any titles. I think it sounds very harsh. I think Ange, what worries me the most about him is that he doesn't change the style based on the opposition, and we keep playing the same way. And I think based on previous experience with Pochettino, playing against low blocks, you need to do something different, because we always struggled against low blocks with Pochettino. And I thought the first 20 minutes, I was just watching the team go through the motions. I thought Wolves actually set up really well against us. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a bit, but I just felt it was very pedestrian, if I'm being honest, the first 20 minutes. We didn't, I don't know if you've seen it, but in the first half, we didn't have a shot on target. So to me, playing well in the first 20 minutes doesn't really, I didn't see it. So I just felt that if we didn't get an early goal, we would struggle. And yeah, I mean, this is what happened. But we don't have a very good recent record against Wolves. So I don't know if you guys know.
That's true.
I can't think when we've actually beaten Wolves at home with a crowd. I think we've only, because we lost at Wembley.
Was it lockdown? Because we lost at Wembley, I remember.
Yeah, and we beat them during lockdown, but I can't remember us actually beating them at home when there's been a crowd there.
No.
We lost under Jose, I remember. 3-2, I think.
Wolves has been a tricky fixture for us, not going to lie.
But they beat us. I mean, Wolves won 4-1 at Chelsea this season, so...
Yeah.
They're one of those teams where I think Gary O'Neill's done a brilliant job there, actually. I think they know how to organise against teams now, especially with Gary O'Neill. And they just did a massive number on us again. And I just don't think we had any answers. But I'm not getting into details now because I'm sure Harry will ask more questions. So, but the first 20 minutes, Harry, I didn't think it was that great. It was very pedestrian. That's what I saw anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Ryan agrees. Well, your bogey team, it seems, in recent years. I suppose every team does have them. But, Marl, I'll come to you next. What were your thoughts on our start to the game? So, obviously, like, you look at, for me, earlier on in the season, even games we lost, like West Ham, Villa, Chelsea, we started strong. Why aren't we starting as fast? Is that concerning for you?
Well, check this out, Harry. It is concerning for me, and I'll tell you why. The recent couple of games, we've been lethargic on the right side of the pitch. I think we can all agree the right side of our pitch is an enigma. Is an enigma, to say the least. Now it's carried over to the left side. Now, is it because Udogie wasn't there to do what he normally does? I'm not 100% sure. Udogi last game didn't have the best of games either. Our left side is starting to struggle as well, and that's starting to worry me. I don't know if teams are starting to get a little bit more hip to what we're doing. But real quick, the goal that we scored, and I don't mean to fast forward, but we played good throughout the first. We didn't play good, but we weren't that bad. We just got caught on a counterattack goal, right? Which is what's set the tone for the rest of the game. But am I worried, Harry? Yeah. Heung-Min Son is not producing as much as he should be on the left side. Werner's not. We're having problems on the right side. We're having problems up and down the squad. I'm worried, Harry.
Yeah.
But sorry,
enough.
Leo, don't you think that with Son, and there's no disrespect, I know everyone just gets at me when I criticize him, but don't you think it's to do a lot with his age as well? Because the guy's 32 and he relies on his pace. He's not going to be the same player he was 2-3 years ago. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I'm just like, to me, it's kind of, I'm not surprised. I don't know. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Harry, hasn't I think I'm safe to say we've been kind of not banging the Son out drum. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not.
We've been singing off the same hymn sheet as far as Son's slow decline and
and people, when we say it, Leo, people think we just hate him, and it's just like
I get it, Harry, I get it, but today and this season,
he's just been.
It's.
Today was really bad.
Be real, my homies. They gave him just a 1-year extension because even Tottenham is not 100% sure. And this is my opinion. I know for a fact I'm going to get bombarded with different types of comments and different type of stuff with this one. But I said
we know why, Leo. We know why.
No, and I know why, guys. I know why. Exactly right.
Leo, there were three. Yeah, sitting in front of me today.
So that's what's worrying, Harry. Is the fact that the kind of like the seniority type role is still around at Spurs, right? It seems like Sonny is still going to get the nod because he's Sonny, right? Because he needs to be in the starting 11, right? Are any of our players really indispensable when it comes to being out of that first team? I think Sonny might be one of those players that needs to start. Whether or not he's the best option to start, Harry, I don't know, but yeah, he needs to start, and I know exactly why.
Leo, if it was the son of 2020 or something, I don't know, 2021, I'd be like, yeah, put him in. But I think that season he had on the second season under Conte, it's showing kind of his age so caught up on him. And I just
he had the injury though, didn't he?
He's not as fast. Like even today, you notice a few transitions or instances when he put it, and he's not taking on his player. He's not taking on his player.
That's life, guys. He's getting a little bit older, bro.
I know this. This is what I'm saying. It's not criticizing him as like a person or like as a player. It's just it's a nature. It's like when you get older, you're not going to be as fast if you rely on your pace as a player. It's just
look. I've got a very basic knowledge of tactics, so I'm not going to talk tactics and how we got it wrong and how we got it right. But one thing I did notice, and I'm not actually one for statistics, but I'm now going to quote some statistics. Okay. We had 71% possession, and we only had about 2 or 3 more shots than they did. That's pretty pathetic, really. And I think we've seen a fanny about in front of the goal, passing it that way, and no one wants to take responsibility of a shot. Now, the one brilliant thing about Harry Kane and Jermaine Defoe before him.
I love Defoe, Brad.
The one great thing about those two players was they would get the ball quickly and shoot from the edge of the box, and 9 out of 10 would score. We're missing that very much this season because Richarlison is not that sort of a player.
Yeah.
We also miss the fact that Sonny, how many goals have we seen Sonny where he gets on that ball, cuts on his right and curls it in? Now we're missing that. So I think we're missing a lot of things that we used to have, and we just got to find another way or get them back. I think the summer is going to be that's going to be the make or break of this team. I've just read, and we've all had various things about Daniel Levy and the ball and that sort of thing. We make the most money from every match in the Premier League, and I think it's the third in Europe.
Is it in the world?
I think we need to. We've got. I like the signings we've got. I think they're not bad signings. We've strengthened up. We had a bench today with not bad players to come on, but I think the summer we need to get 2, even 3 top class, world class match winning players. Even Postecoglou said in his press conference, we haven't got any match winning players. We need those players, and I know it sounds really it's all fantasy, but you put Haaland and De Bruyne in that Tottenham team,
Yeah.
You know, you're going to see a difference. So that's the difference. The team under Pochettino that went for the title two seasons running, okay, there were, you know, the Leicester season there weren't many decent teams in the league that season. But we had players like Dele Alli, Eriksson and Kane and Son all making and scoring goals and that. We haven't got that at the moment. So we got to, you know, this is our first season. I think under Pochettino we were 5th in our first season. Well,
yeah, you're right.
Probably what we're going to get this season, you know, maybe even 4th, who knows? So I think I'm disappointed with the way we're playing. Yeah, we should have won today. Yeah, you know, but I think we do.
I have to agree with that comment by Tom. Sorry.
Handle and say, oh, it's all wrong. Oh, dear, you know. And as for look, and we're also going to concede goals playing that way. We just got to make sure we score more goals. What really annoys me when I go to the games is when the opposition, when we're 1-0 down or 0-0, and they start time wasting, all the fans get on their back. It's like, well, the one way you stop players time wasting is by scoring the goal and going ahead of them.
Also, Brad, I don't know what they're expecting. Like, these teams come here to get a result. They're going to waste time. It's just kind of expected. That's why I don't bother. Like, it's just.
There you go. But Brad, I will ask you the same question. Are you concerned that we're not starting quick? Because we didn't start quick today. Is it a worry for you?
Yeah, I think we need to. Yeah, we definitely need to do that. We need to. And I think. Ange said that in his press conference again, that we did that early on in the season, but at the moment we're not. So, and with Tom 81 there, that's another thing that when we play well in the first 10 games of the season, Basuma was absolutely outstanding, and he's just lost it for the time being. We got Bentancur, who 2 seasons ago was brilliant. He's come back from an injury. It's going to take him some time to get back to his best. So it's not all doom and gloom, but we do need to start strong. We need to put teams under the cosh. And the irony being is when we've won a few games being 1-0 down, but when we actually got and scored first, we've actually lost games. So, you know, make of that what you will. But no, we need to get a better start. And you know what Ange Postecoglou's way is to keep that going the whole game. We never stop, you know, and that sort of thing. They've got to get that mentality. They've got to start doing that. They've got to get that goal and then get another goal and just keep going and keep going and keep going. But we just got to. I know people that get annoyed when people say we've got to be patient, but I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom 81 says we really miss Bentancur at his best. Yeah, we will get on to individuals later, and Bentancur is one of the ones I want to bring up, and that's for sure. But Mile, I'll come back to you. So Wolves took the lead, 42nd minute. Yao Gomez taking the lead for Wolves. Was it coming, that goal for you? Did you see it coming?
Yeah, Harry, real quick. My name's Leo. I know you can call me Leo.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was coming. Of course, it was coming. We're playing such a high line. Granted, that was, I think, off of a set piece that we had, right, a corner kick, and we kind of we let them have a goal. I mean, and this is gonna happen, Harry. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen probably every game, if I'm honest with you. We're getting used to the way we're playing ball, and we're gonna be giving up goals like this. Ange is aware of this. We're aware of this.
Guys, I just want to pop off for a couple of minutes. My phone keeps ringing.
Go for it.
It's a person trying to say, "Are you going out? Are you going out?" I just want to send a text and say, "No, I'm not."
Go for it. Don't be silly. No worries at all.
I think we just need to get used to this, right? It's definitely we're not the ideal 11. I guess let me rephrase that. Ange doesn't have, in my opinion, his ideal 11, and so we're always going to be leaking these goals. It's just the style of play that we have. I think the players even know this, right? We're going to give up goals because of the way we're playing. It's just unfortunate, Harry, and it sucks that we're not doing it on the opposite end of the pitch, right? We're giving the goals up, but we're just not putting them in the back of the sack. And I think that's where all of our chips are at the end of the day is we're going to give the goals up, but let's just put more in the back of their sack. And so, yeah, the goal, my homie, was coming. Even the second goal was coming. Let's just be real. We invite people just how they invite us in to try and pick the lock. We also invite them in to get the balls, in over Van de Ven and Romero, and some teams are capitalizing off of that. That's just the reality of the situation. The issue, Harry, is we need to be putting them in the back of the sack, my homie.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And let's hope that we do in future games. But Haz, I will come to you. Were Wolves worthy of their lead for you? Because for me, they had 2 or 3 corners in a row. And I said to a couple of people next to me, it feels like it's coming. Wolves are strong from set pieces. We're not good at them. It feels like a goal's coming for half time. So did you see it coming?
Well, as we know, set piece has been our weakness at Spurs for a number of years, and not just under Ange. But I do criticise Ange for this because he goes with this zonal marking, and this is something I've been ranting about for probably since the start of the season. I really hate zonal marking. I know TJ and me and you we all spoke about this on the show a few weeks ago, saying that people do zonal marking to start counterattacks. But what I don't understand is Spurs don't really do counterattacks in this style of play.
No.
So why are we doing zonal marking? But it felt like our players just ball watch, so they mark this as a zone rather than say having, as back in old school defending in like the 2090s, you'd have a man on someone, like every man mark someone on the corner, and you'd organize this like before the game. You'd say, oh, you either take the nearest man, or you in your like training during the week, you say, oh, you pick this guy, also based on height, obviously. You pick that guy. That's how I was taught at school as well. Pick this guy, and you mark the player, and you make sure that you try and win the ball first, and you get the ball out. But Spurs is just like we just do the zonal thing every time. I think they would have known about the Vicario weakness too on the set pieces. So this is our Achilles heel. And I think it was coming not because Wolves had the most of the possession, just because they looked way more threatening whenever they got the ball, and also on the set pieces they looked way more threatening. So yeah, the longer we didn't score, the more chance they were going to score. So
I actually missed the Wolves' first goal. I was chatting to the person on my right, and just they heard a cheer, and they scored. So I actually missed it.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, Brad, I will come to you actually. At half time, obviously, Wolves went in 1-0 up. Were they worthy of their lead at half time for you?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think we had enough of the game to be ahead. And the same with the second half. You know, when we got the goal, we had them pinned in for 15, 20 minutes, and then they got us on the break. And okay, we did defend poorly. I mean, I heard the first goal was from a free header. And as you just said about zonal marking, we used to do zonal marking under Conte, and it never worked. So, you know, it's like. Yeah,
but then, Brad, why we keep repeating zonal marking? I don't understand. Is it a European thing? I don't know.
I don't know. I've never liked it. I've never ever liked it. And even when you read about it, the philosophy of it, no, it just doesn't work for me. You know, it's maybe it's old school, but yeah, mark the players in the box, especially the guys who're going to get the ball and head it. Mark them up, you know.
Because you look at the goal, right? Everyone's just looking at the ball and then just go straight.
Yeah, exactly. It's have we got a weakness with Vicario? Have they found him out? Well, against Everton, they did in the first half. In the second half, he played pretty well. And against who did he play last time? Brighton didn't seem to cause many problems. So, you know, I mean, the thing is, we don't know the rules of the game. There are pretty grey as well. You know, do you protect the goalies or do you not? You know, it's a bit of I don't know how the rule works. I really don't. It probably depends on what referee you get. You know how they do it, but
yeah. Absolutely, yeah, completely agree. And I don't get zonal marking because look, you're going to play at the high line, right? From corners, from free kicks in particular. At least watch your man, because there was times there was one with Wolves. Adrianucci was in on the left hand side. If he's touched us better, then he puts the ball in the back of the net. Yeah. You know, he's completely unmarked, and I think all you've got to do is time your run, get the ball right, go. It's going to be on target. So for me, I just don't get it. Leo, do you get the idea of the kind of high line, or would you ditch it from you, like zonal marking? Would you get rid of it?
It's a gift and a curse, Harry. Honestly, there's times like today where I'm thinking like, wow, we might need to start thinking about something different for sure. But at the end of the day, I'm committed to the cause just as much as I would hope these players. Big up, Jimbo. Big up, my homie. I'm committed to the cause just as much as I wish these players are, and I hope these players are, right? I think it's a winning philosophy. The game is score more goals than your opponent. And the high line is an attractive way of playing football. Let's just face it, my homies. I love seeing Van de Ven and Romero on our side of the pitch. I really like it, as opposed to the football I've been seeing in the past couple of years, where everybody and their grandma is on our side of the pitch. See, it's complete night and day. And so now that I'm seeing this, I'm almost in love. I'm in love with it. I want to see more of it. And Ange, I think Ange is on the right track. I don't mind playing the high line. I don't mind giving up the goals at all. I really don't. Like I said, I could go every game giving up 4 goals, my homies, but I want my team to be putting in 5.
I mean, Man City can look vulnerable at the back. I don't think
I think Man City, to me, they're way more organised at the back. I don't think they play
that comes with time. Pep has been there for 8 years or whatever it is. We've had one, not even a season of with Ange Postecoglou. So.
But I think there is also a difference between Ange and Pep. I think Ange's football has actually got more risk than Pep's, because the way he uses our fullbacks, they always go into the field, right? So you're basically left with 2 to 3 players left at the back, right? And the problem is that when we have this many players in the opposition half, we need to make it count. But because the stylistic of play again, and I think this goes down to Ange really, is this tippy-tappy. I counted today about 20 times where we could have put the ball in the box, but instead we checked back. Like there was that instance, obviously, in the last minute when Johnson crossed it and he went back. And then, but it's just they take 1 to 2 to 3 passes more than they should. Whether it's down to confidence or I don't know, but it's just we see. I know the Greek phrase for this because my dad always says this, but I don't know if it has it in English. We make the ball dizzy. That's how I think we're
dizzy. Okay.
As you go back. There were instances where you could have put it in the box. We could have crossed it. Yeah. We're trying to score the perfect goal. It feels to me.
No, I totally agree with you.
And I'm like, just please, just shoot.
It's me as well.
It's like there was an instance, I think, when Maddison. I know he crossed it in the end, but he easily could have shot. And there was another. I'm sure there's more than one. It's just the one. But it's. I think that's also down to Ange in a sense, because I know. I told Harry this off thing, but I know people who actually play for like youth setups, right? And they tell me that a lot of the coaches nowadays focus a lot on possession, so it's just about keeping the ball. So the less riskier players, like the Ronaldinhos and the players like that, don't really get noticed as much anymore. So they don't, because they take the most risk in terms of like individually. I'm not talking about as the style, but individually. So you don't see these players playing these like crazy passes or trying this crazy stuff. So it's just possession. But if you're just keeping a possession, okay, the opposition can't score, then we weren't doing anything with the possession.
No one makes the runs, do they? No one makes the run. I mean, okay, Ben Davies at the end made an awful miss. He should have scored, but at least he made the effort and got the space for the header.
I think the one thing I think this system that I find a bit weird personally, and this is just from logical thinking. Okay, you've got your fullbacks coming inside and joining the midfield, so now you have in our case, a 5-man midfield. But then you have the wingers cutting in too. So then what? You've got 7 players in there plus the 3 there. So it's very congested. So I kind of understand if the wingers were kind of more wide, because then you kind of have an option to stretch the opposition. But we have Kulusevski coming inside. You have Son coming inside. Where is the variation? I just feel like it's very congested. And this is why we do all this pretty patterns around the box, but never actually just putting it in.
Yeah, no, it does get frustrating. It does get frustrating.
Yeah. It's frustrating. That's for sure.
It's just I just want, like, this is Ange Ball, I guess. I don't know. This must be Ange Ball.
Well, a lot of his goals come from, and we've seen the classical Ange Postecoglou goals is when the wingers cross it and another winger scores. We saw it with Johnson's in the last couple of goals, and we've seen it with Richarlison scoring goals like that. I think that's one way, but I think also, I mean, that's why if a player has a shot and it goes way over, I don't mind that so much. At least they're having a try. They're having they're trying to shoot. I mean, the game is all it's fine margins in football. And when we were 1-1 and we had them pinned back, I'm not sure it was Maddison. I don't had a shot that was going in, and Sarr made a really great save. Admittedly, it's the only save he had to make the whole game. But that ball goes in with 2 and up. Suddenly. The game changes.
I think that he either has to start varying the delivery in the sense of like the final third delivery, either making it quicker, balls in the box, or playing the wingers wider. That's to do with the individuals being Kulusevski and Son, that they both like to come inside. But then he's used Werner on the left, who likes to do that anyway. And then he's used Johnson, who's not exactly like a... I think back to Lennon and Bale. They're not like that. And I keep telling my dad, if we had 2020 Lennon and Bale, I think we would have scored like hatful more goals now, because they would have like probably played proper wide and put balls in the box.
But sort of supports my point that we need 2 or maybe 3 world-class players to add to the team to give us that ability to do that, whether it be wingers, whether it be strikers. I mean, I'm fair play to Richarlison. He did the business when Son was away. Now Son's gone back. He's just gone back to the old Richarlison. It's like, So I think
I completely agree.
I think a proper striker is what we need.
I think right winger, striker, 2 fullbacks. I think even more than another centre half. That's just my take, because I just think the right hand side, like you mentioned, is a massive problem.
Lethargic.
But so just to answer your question, Tom, we'll get on to 10-15 minutes time. We'll talk about Ange's sub, so stay tuned until then.
As Marlon said, I just waffled for 5 minutes. Sorry, Marlon.
He's not wrong. Love it. But to get back on track, I'll come to you, Leo, to some positive stuff. Probably one of the only things of the game. 46th minute, Dejan Kulusevski scores in what was a really nice move. It happened so quickly, I wasn't even back in my seat. I was like, hang on, what's happened here? And so perfect start. So what do you make of the goal, Leo?
Yeah, so somewhat like you, I watched the game at the pub here in Denver with Colorado Spurs, and I vlog my experience with it. So I was actually kind of doing some filming, and all of a sudden, all the mates start jumping around and screaming, and so I honestly really didn't see the goal myself as well. But seeing it over, it's a goal that you would want Kulusevski to score. It's going to do bits for his confidence. Of course it's going to. I think at that point, whoever scored that goal, it's going to boost individually their confidence for sure.
Yeah. It was pure determination, that goal.
Yeah, that's hustle, that's grind, and that's become synonymous with Kulusevski, which is probably why he's getting the nod over Johnson right now on the right side. Is purely on his hustle and his the way he uses his brain when he's playing, and his physicality. So I'm not surprised he's scoring a goal. Honestly, he needs, like the rest of our players, they need to be scoring more. But if I make an honest admission, I think Kulusevski in this type of Ange ball system sticks out like a sore thumb, because he's kind of an unconventional type of winger that Ange would want. That, as we just kind of spoke about it, right? He needs different type of tools in the toolbox to make his art come out. But at the end of the day, Kulusevski scored his goal, and like I said, it's going to do bits for his confidence. And I thought we honestly were going to start steamrolling after that, because we looked really good. As a team, we looked really good when that happened. And, well, we know what happened.
We know what happened, and we'll get onto it, sadly. But, Brad, we'll come to you. So, obviously, the perfect start to the half. Did you think we'd really push on and win the game at that moment in time? Because I certainly did.
Yeah. I thought I actually, because we and it's not me that said this, we've been described as a moments team, haven't we? We have a brilliant 10-15 minutes, like the 10-15 minutes against Brentford, score 3 goals. We do this, and I thought that was going to be our moment. Then I thought, we're gonna get the goals now, and we just, unfortunately, as I said, Maddison missed that shot, or that shot that the keeper saved. If that goes in, maybe we win the game. But I did think once we got that goal, because that would have. Football's a psychological, and that would have rocked Wolves. They'd have gone in at half time really, really happy that they were 1-0 up, and then suddenly you can see the goal straight away. That would have knocked them. So we should have taken advantage of it, but we unfortunately we didn't. We need to make our moments longer than the 10-15 minutes that we seem to be doing at the moment. But again, I'm sorry, it's patience again. We just got to see what happens.
Yeah,
Brad, and just real quick before we kind of move on, I'm even trying to say, Brad, that Ange doesn't know his best 11 yet. So he's still trying to, because to add some context to that, he's had his first team fit, and throughout that first 10-game run that we had, he kind of did some fidgeting here and there, but it was the majority of the players were starters left week in and week out. And then we had the whole Chelsea game, and from there it's been inconsistencies and inconsistencies after inconsistencies. And that has to play into some of it. Now, it's not making excuses. It's just saying I don't even think Ange knows his best 11 yet. And you know, when we think we have players back and fit, we end up dropping other players, right? I know it's not that big of it's not the hugest loss, but our backup goalkeeper's injured now, so that's something that plays into it too. That disrupts the whole movement of training. It disrupts the whole movement. It's a butterfly effect, right? And it's just been unfortunate circumstances after unfortunate circumstances. And like I said, it's not making excuses. It just is the reality of the situation. And I think Ange does not know his best 11 right now, which is why we're seeing, you know, starting 11s the way we're seeing them.
Yeah. I think also this is a typical Ange Postecoglou season. It happens with every team he's managed. The first season is always a bumpy season. Yeah, so you know it's we've just got to live with it. I mean, I mean, to be fair, I predicted mid-table at the start of the season, so we're well ahead of that. So you know,
yeah, exactly. So I think that context is very, very important in things like this. But talk me through the start to the second half, and at that moment in time, again, I'm going to ask you the same question: did you think we can go on a win? Because you can't start better than that, can you?
We're basing this on previous games, then yes. But basing this on previous games against Wolves, then no. Because I was like, oh no. Just because we scored the equaliser, I thought maybe would be more in the ascendancy in the 5 minutes that followed afterwards. But I felt like we kind of just, whether it was to do with Gary O'Neill's, he must have said something to them after the goal went in, because they kind of reorganised again. And again, we went back to our slow. Because let's be honest, guys, as much like I've criticised Kulusevski loads of times this season, especially off the right hand side, it was kind of like a moment of brilliance that got us back into the game. It wasn't like a great play, a great move, like where we scored some goals in this season where you had like 10 players passing it around and then we scored like a great goal. It was more like just Kulusevski, just sheer determination, brilliance, scored the goal. But after that, I felt like we didn't really take advantage of that. I felt like Wolves kind of reorganised. I think we kind of gave them bit too much time to reorganize, in the sense that rather than when the team is the opposition, what's the word they use, on the back foot, that's right, on the back foot, you take advantage of it. We didn't seem to do that. I felt like it kind of got back to how the game was before.
I mean, fair play to Gary O'Neill. It is Gary, isn't it? Gary O'Neill.
Gary O'Neill,
fair play to him, winning the toss and changing it around. That was because you know we've read interviews with our players saying in the second half it's like the big stand, South Stand, sort of sucks the ball into the net. So I think he got that spot on. By
I think tactically as well. I thought he was brilliant today. Because I noticed a lot of instances where he changed the shape. So he started with a 5, and then they went to a 3-4. So they were defending, I think, in the 5. And then attacking a 3-4-3, and they used Neto on the left, I think in the first half, and then on the right in the second. And it was based on the fullbacks. He knew our fullbacks weren't great, and then he did a few little changes in them throughout the game. When I think he moved to like a certain, I don't know what it was, like a 5-3-2 or something, or 5-4-1 in the end, something like that. But I noticed him pointing and doing this and this and different. I was like trying to work out what he's doing.
It goes without saying, and I'll be the first to admit it, my hat's off to Wolves and everybody that is involved with Wolves. They beat us fair and square both matches. They beat us fair and square both matches.
Tactically, Gary O'Neill got it for me spot on.
But then I'm not disrespect to Gary O'Neill, but in the sense that I said this, and I still stand by I say, you could go to Spurs and put 10 men behind the ball and get a result.
But does that not make us predictable? In terms
that's what I'm trying to say.
How do you solve that? If you're Ange, what would you do against low block
What
teams?
I would do is you either give your opposition a bit more of the ball so they go further up the pitch, because obviously we had most of the possession. I know it sounds counterproductive giving them more of the ball, but it means that they have to eventually push up and there's more gaps. or you actually change your system to match theirs. So you go like a 3-4-3, 3-5-2, and try to do something different. Or you play more direct, longer balls,
or
stretch the opposition,
or you take the lead. That's one way of doing it.
What I was going to say, I think it's very basic. You just got to move the ball quicker. I don't think
No, that's
see,
you're right
there was times where the ball went out of play and Walter out of position, and we're looking around, and it's just quick free kicks, quick throws. You've got to help yourself. City's goal today came from catching Chelsea out when the ball.
Harry, just be thankful you don't think that's my dad, because he's like the loudest when that sort of stuff. He's like, especially Romero, because Romero takes like a bit extra time. Romero, on the ball.
He does.
But that's like bloody Romero.
He gets the ball and he stops. He just actually stops.
I remember we had like 8-9 minutes to go. We're losing 2-1, and we're strolling with the ball. Like we're 5-1 up, and I go, hang on, we're losing 2-1 in a game that we have to win. So
I'm worse. I'm like, just lump it forward. I'm screaming, just lump it forward. Why are we waiting for that? There's what 5 minutes left.
Yeah, but to be fair, I was shouting that against Brighton when there was like seconds to go. And what happens? We have an 8-man move that resulted in a goal. So
yeah, I'm the same in those.
Absolutely. But before we move on to the rest of the game, I've got a little stat here about to kind of put into context Postecoglou and why, for me, it's not a disaster. In Arteta's first season, Arsenal finished 8th. In Klopp's first season, Liverpool finished 8th. In Pep's first season, City finished 3rd. That is, for me, is absolutely vital context on why it's not a meltdown. Because I spoke to 4 different people on Twitter today that wanted Ange gone. So a little bit of context. What? Yeah, no, I know it's deadly serious. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned for them. But
did you ask them who they would want to replace him with?
Didn't answer my question. And I know someone in the bottom left-hand corner who also likes to dodge the questions, but we won't worry about that now.
Sorry?
not always.
There's a manager who's free right now, you know.
Who?
Jose.
Oh come on. I'm going to start.
I've been staring at Liverpool supporters with that. Oh, no, Jose's free.
Yeah,
he's been with another stint at Chelsea.
We have to see. But Leo, I'm going to come to you. The painful bit. 63rd minute. João Gomez again scoring again. I never knew he was so good. 2 goals. Assist this time by Pedro Neto. What do you make of their goal? For me, it's absolutely atrocious defending.
Yeah. I honestly, Harry, have nothing to say about the second goal. I'm not even gonna front. I wish I could try and justify something or twist it somehow, but it was atrocious defense at the end of the day. That's just what it was. We can attribute it to that. And like I just said a few minutes ago, fair play to Wolves. 3 points for them. But it's a good learning experience. If I'm to take any positives out of it, Harry, it's a good experience, a learning experience. And it kind of for me, it brought me back to reality, because I wasn't like shooting for the moon. Don't get me wrong, but I had aspirations of something more. But I'm seeing that with this second goal, even with the first goal, there's still tons of work to do. But look, when you get the opportunity and you bag it, that's what you paid to do. And Wolves did that at the end of the day. They scored their second goal. Fuck, man, and fair play to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad, what do you make of the defending? Because Pedro Neto was allowed to run several yards, it's fair to say. Allowed to turn, cut the ball back, and then free shot from João Gomez. And, you're not being funny. It's a good strike, but it's harder to miss. So talk me through it.
I totally agree with what Leo was saying. It's just awful defending. But then again, you've got 2 of our defenders out. You've got a different defence in. So, although I'm not saying that as an excuse, because they should have defended it better and they should not have left. Was it who scored the goal? Neto? I don't know.
João Gomez again. Neto got the assists. Yeah.
Yeah. He should. He was just left open, and then, to be fair, they almost scored that way again, and we managed to get it away with it. And I think there was another opportunity where I think the player was offside. but the linesman didn't give it, and we got out of that as well. So yeah, very, very poor. I thought today the Wolves players beat our man so easily. We didn't seem to compete at all in the one-on-ones. They seemed to get past us without even trying, and turn us and all that sort of thing. And we didn't win the second ball, all that sort of stuff, all the basic stuff. And I was disappointed in losing that goal when we did have them pinned back for those 15, 20 minutes. That was disappointing. But again, as I said before, we're going with the high line. We're going to have we're going to have breaks like that we got to defend, but you got to score the goals. So that the breaks, if they do score, it's it doesn't mean as much as it if you don't score. So if that makes any sort of sense. We have to. Yeah, it's we've lost 2-1. We lost. We scored 1 goal. So we've got to. We've got to. When we have the ball, when we have possession with the ball, and I agree with what Has was saying, we're trying to pass it into the net. We're trying all these little 1-2s they're trying to do on the edge of the penalty area.
Just shoot. Just shoot.
Put the ball in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
Cross, yeah.
Yeah. So
the thing is, Brad, what worries me the most, right, is every time Wolves go forward, for example, and same with Brighton, they look like scoring. We have 70, as you say, 70-odd%, 71% of the ball. And for me, I look at that game, I can't remember one, apart from obviously the goal, one really clear-cut chance where I go, Jose Sar's pulled off an amazing save. And that is, for me, really concerning. And I don't expect us to be at the level of your Cities, your Arsenals, etc., in the first year of a project. But you watch someone like City against Chelsea, chance after chance, 25 shots, not many on target. They're constantly testing the goalkeeper who makes the great saves or last-minute blocks. You didn't really lay a glove on Wolves. You haven't had on the ball.
I agree with you there, and that's the thing about we're always going to be vulnerable to the counter attack. That's the way we play. But if you do let the occasional goal in from the counter attack, you don't mind if you've just made the keeper make 3 or 4 brilliant saves. And what also is worrying, I mean, we've been saved by Vicario many times. We want to see him making one absolutely brilliant save every 3 or 4 games, but he's making about 3 or 4 brilliant saves every 1 game. So. No, I agree with Tom. It is misleading. But what I'm saying is, we've got 71% of possession. You should be doing a lot more than we were. So
yeah. For me, I'm really concerned at this moment in time, and I didn't think I'd be saying this. After the start of the season we have, but I'm really concerned because for me it's really predictable how you play. You just sit back and you put fast players on the counter attack. I think we're really going to struggle against Chelsea because I think they do that. I think Villa will be exactly the same. West Ham, including the pre-season game, beat us 2 out of 2. David Moyes, whatever you think of him, whether he may be in the job by then, he knows how to beat an attacking style of play. He's not stupid. It does worry me because I look at Tottenham and go, stop the fullbacks inverting, sit back, a couple of fast players in the counter attack, and you win the game.
Yeah.
Easy job, and it shouldn't be that easy. So for me, a little bit of flexibility is needed. But I clocked 3 or 4 times today where if Wolves had got the right pass they were in particular in that first half, there's one that Hwang was in. It's himself. It just Neto played the wrong pass. It went out. So with Wolves scored 2 goals. I look at that and go, for the better opposition, they'd be scoring 3-4 goals, and that thing is worrying.
We are predictable, but we miss those sort of players. The players like when Dele Alli, when he's in top form, the amount of goals he scored by ghosting at the back and scoring. And I'm old enough to remember Martin Peters used to do that as well. And we don't have that at the moment. We haven't got that extra little bit of things that they won't know. They won't we didn't expect that. We haven't got that at the moment. That little bit of magic. So it's a question of Ange finding it out and find, as Leo said, the best first 11 and getting the players that can do that. But at the moment, I don't think we have. We're fine when we're on a break ourselves with that cross and the Richarlison far post or Johnson far post, but that's all we have at the moment as an attacking thing. When they've all got players behind the ball, we don't seem to have any way of getting past them. We do try these little 1-2s, which ain't going to work when you're trying to get 1-2, 5 or 6 defenders. And again, it comes down to someone have a shot. Just set up a shot and have a go.
Yeah.
I mean, Madison, I think last week tried that with over the top. You've got loads in front of you. Go over the top. Top corner, like Son used to do. You've got to have that bit of magic, but we don't seem to have it at the moment. It's frustrating, but hopefully we'll sort it before the end of the season and in the summer with signings.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I do think it's sortable. And I look at a game like City and I go, it's not necessarily about cheap. People saying, "Oh, you can't change the tactics of one player," but with Werner, a lot of times he was just pinning the ball over the top. The ultimate thing in football, you want to win, and that for me could have won us the game. So you can't say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this because we're not going to win." And things like high line from set pieces, or when you don't have a centre back on the pitch, for me is absolutely bonkers. But I do want to get back on track. Before we wrap up for today's show, I wanted to focus on Angie's subs. It's been a big talking point. Seems to be every single week, win, lose or draw. So Leo, I'll come to you. So it's 5 changes today. Werner came on for Basuma at 71st minute. Bentancur came on for Sarr. Brennan Johnson came on for Richarlison. They're all 71st minute. Then in the 85th minute, Højbjerg came on for Maddison. Don't need to say anything else. Lo Celso came on for Emerson. What were your thoughts on those changes?
Yeah, if I can criticize Ange any bit, and this is kind of just looking for something to criticize Ange, it would be, I think, his subs. So some of his subs have been, some of them have been good and some of them have been bad. Today, however, let's just start off from the beginning. You look at the lineup, right, and you see that you have some pace on the bench if need to be called upon. You see you have a stacked bench. You look at names like Bentancur, Son. I'm missing tons more. Don't get me wrong, but you look at these names and you're thinking like, wow, we have a decent shot with these subs. And then you call upon them to try and pick a lock or something. You take off Maddison and bring on Højbjerg. The only one that probably agreed with that is Ellie. God bless her. And Ellie's probably the only one that probably agreed with that move, and even she was probably wondering why. But again, you're forced to do what you can only do what you can with what you have, and I think it's apparent at the moment that's what Ange thought he should do, and I don't know what. And I'm not saying it was good or bad, Harry. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just giving my opinion. I think maybe you're going to ask me who I would have brought on. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I would have thought coming into this game, seeing that lineup, that at the end of the game, we would not be relying on these subs to come in to try and save a point. I'm thinking let's bring these people on when Wolves already worn out and we need to bag another goal to seal it. And now you're bringing them on with hopes that you guys need to score, not just hold the lead. You guys need to score if you want to point at home. You guys need to go out there and get a point. And you bring on Højbjerg. Now Maddison is probably not 100% fit. I'm not. I'll go ahead and say that. But let's just say he's 80% at the. I don't know what minute he came off at, but at that
85.
point, okay, at that point in the game, let's just say he's 75% fit. I prefer that over Højbjerg, but that's my opinion.
It was a bit strange.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, it was a bit strange because it's not like he's got to play another game in 3 days' time. He's got 2 weeks. So
we got 2 weeks off.
Yeah. So to have him for the next 10 minutes, where he's one of the players that could do something to win the game, or at that moment in time draw the game. I think, some sort of more or less. Yeah, I thought what surprised me when Richarlison came off. Yeah, he was pushing Sonny into the middle and putting. But he was saying to Sonny, it looked like he was saying to Sonny, no, keep on the left. But
Sonny was not in the middle, Brad. I didn't see Sonny.
No, when Werner came on, he started up front. We changed to a 4-4-1-1. Maddison played in the 10 just behind him. But later in the game, Son moved into the middle. Werner went on to the left. Yeah. I think we changed the shape again. I think it was like a 4-4-2 thing or something like that. 4-4-1-1 maybe again. Because Maddison came off at that point. And I even thought Lo Celso played a bit on the right near the end. But it was initially a 4-4-1-1. Werner was one up front. But I personally, I don't know if Harry was going to ask about the subs, but I wouldn't have taken off Richarlison because at least with Richarlison you have a bit of height. I would have gone 4-4-2 and gone with Son and Richarlison up front and Werner on the left.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. See, I didn't even think about that, but that's
3-5-2. Put Maddison in the hole. I don't know, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
But for me, to kind of go over those changes and give my thoughts, I'm someone who really likes Højbjerg. I love him. I never have understood over the years the criticism he gets. I think it's a very key player even now to keep in and around the squad to see out games. But as someone who I see myself as quite a big Højbjerg fan, you don't bring him on when you're looking for a goal. You just don't.
But he brought him as a centre back, Harry. He didn't even use him in midfield. He brought him as a centre back.
That's what didn't make sense. But if that's not bad enough, listen, James Maddison, Leo, spot on. okay, whether he's fit or not, he's got 2 weeks off. He's fit enough to play.
Yeah,
But
as far
I
as
don't
I'm
think he was playing
concerned,
well though, Harry.
no, he wasn't. But that doesn't matter because look at Erling Haaland. Yeah, he's awful in some games, but he only needs one moment, and that can change the game and change the momentum. James Maddison for me was poor. Like I'm going to say, I think it's poor. One of his worst performances in the Spurs shirt, actually. But he, out of anyone on that pitch, he's got the capability and caliber and ability to unlock that defense more than anyone else has on that pitch. Richarlison, we lacked height when he went off, yes, but again, he was poor. So I can understand that a little bit more. But you don't bring Højbjerg on for Maddison when you're losing 2-1. You just don't. It's not to control the game because Højbjerg's playing defense. It baffled me. Johnson probably should have come on earlier. To be honest with you, to stretch the play. So for me, Johnson should have come on at 1-1 when Wolves were coming out a little bit to try and win, and they were stretched. So that was a mistake there. Werner came on for me, didn't do much, but I don't know why Werner was up front. I prefer Werner on the left, Son down the middle. So I don't like to question him too much.
Harry, he got no supplies, so it's not like it made a difference.
We did put the ball in the box and Richarlison was there, so I'm not going to do it when we haven't got Richarlison.
Son needs it even more than the plate. At least for Richarlison, you would have had the height. I would have played them together.
Haz, you can back me up on this. As someone who's a big fan of Richarlison, I wanted to sign him. I still want him. For me, that was the first game for a long, long while. I've looked at it and gone, we lack a striker. We lack that.
We don't have an elite striker.
We lack that little bit of not necessarily pace or physical presence. We just lack someone to put the ball in the back of the net,
and then
or to take over, to drop back, and to control. Of course, K's irreplaceable, but it just for me, we lack that striker.
Sorry,
we have a lot of kind of we have a lot of kind of impact players. It really frustrates me. But the last question before we wrap up for today's show, I want to know where you all think we're going to finish at the end of the season. So this is quite interesting. Brad, I'm going to put you on the spot first, so I do apologise in advance.
No, that's fine. I was actually thinking about this on the train home tonight.
Go for it. Where are we going to finish?
I think we're certainly going to finish top 6 because at the moment, Man United, if they win the game in hand, they're only 3 points behind, so they can catch us. But Newcastle at the moment, who could only draw at home against Bournemouth, are 10 points behind us. So if we play like we've been playing, obviously if we went on a really, really, really horrible run, then they can catch us. But I don't think Newcastle can catch us if we keep getting in the points. So top 6, I think, is definite. So I think European football next season. Top 4, it's still within our reach. We can still do it. We need to get a result at Villa Park, obviously. I don't think we'll go any further than 4th. I know mathematically we can, but no, I don't think it's going to happen. But I think top 6, definitely we'll get a top 6, and that's European football. In a strange sort of way, I think Champions League football would be great because we'd be able to attract players because they want to play in the Champions League. But if you put that to one side, I think giving the Europa League a go and try and win that next season will be a big thing that we can do. Let's look at what it meant to West Ham when they won. Even that was the one below the Europa League. Look at them; they sing Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. All right, it's a laugh, but they do, and I think that's been very important. I think we've really got to. I think European football is important for us next season. That hopefully will stir the board to put their things in the pockets so we can get a decent squad. And then maybe you will see these players, these fringe players, become better players. Let's face it, when we had all the injuries, the fringe players had to play games and became better for that. So I think that's the thing with the squad thing. You rotate, go for the League Cup, go for all the cups. Just go for everything. Why fanny about?
Do you know what, Brad? I completely agree with you. But the issue is, and I've thought this after quite a few years, and hopefully it's different now. But we don't treat it seriously enough. Whereas West Ham, they give it everything in it. Yeah. Whereas the Champions League, I go, we're not going to win it, but we'll give it a go. It'd be good fun. It's something to look forward to. I love Champions League under the lights, and it'd be the same with Europa League and even the Conference League. I still love going, but I know that we'll play our second team and we'll get knocked out, and it's the same every time. We just don't seem to learn.
I think if we're led to believe, I think Postecoglou wants to win things, and he'll be hurt if he doesn't win anything this season. My friend at the game today said that Mourinho and Conte have won, and Postecoglou always win in their first season, and yet whenever they've been at Tottenham, they haven't. So it's the third manager we've destroyed him. But I think they should definitely go for it the next season. We've got to. I know top four is important for remuneration and to get players who want, the top players who want to play that level of football. Although, to be fair, as it pains me to say, we want all the English teams to do really, really well in the Champions League this year because that will improve the.
It's funny you bring that up, Brad, because one of my friends, an Arsenal fan, called me up earlier after the game. Goes, "Do you want us to do you a favour in the Champions League?" I'm like, "No, I'd rather not be in it."
I want them all to get to the semi-finals, so that should bump it up, shouldn't it? That should bump it up enough.
But I think one of the English teams has to win it for us to get the extra place.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I believe one of them has to win it, so I'm relying on Manchester City. I don't want Arsenal to win it.
I don't mind Man
So I was
City
like, no way. I don't want you guys to win anything.
I don't mind Man City winning it because then you can say, oh well, they had the money, that's why they won it. You know.
Thank you. Tom gets it. We didn't want vital players to win Champions League. This is why.
Yeah, that is a worry, and that is the worry. But hey, you know, the stadium looks like it's paying for itself now. You know, we've got all the revenue streams. There's no excuse now for not paying top money. I'm not saying we should go out and buy £100 million player. We're not going to do that, but there's no reason to you know, when a team offers, say, this player's worth 60 million, we say, we'll give you 50. No, just pay the asking price.
But I'd argue, Brad, we need to go out and sign someone of that. I'm not saying 100 million, by the way, exactly, but someone of that level because for me, 50 million, 40 million, 60 million pound players nowadays, they're not the elite. Elite ones, right?
Well, just look at Brendan Johnson. Look at these players that we just bought, that we spent a fair amount of coin on that are not really
not
producing.
An elite player yet. These are young players. So even Ndombele, you go back to Ndombele, he's 65 million, but he was still like a 23, 24-year-old. But we don't go and do what Liverpool did when they bought Alisson for 80 million and Van Dijk for 85, whatever it was. These are like top draw signings at the time. You know they're going to walk into the team and fix their problems, right? So, but would you see Spurs? I know you said not 100 million, but paying the release cost for someone like Osimhen, no way.
I think you're right. I think you're right there. I think 80 million for a player, probably that's, you know, I don't think we're going to go for that, pay you that much money.
I did hear Mbappe. Mbappe might be free this summer.
But Leo, in all seriousness, I will ask you, where do you think we're gonna finish this season right now?
Yeah, look, I'll give you my honest opinion as to where I want to finish. I would love to finish 6th place, 5th place, right outside of Champions League. I don't want to go into Champions League and embarrass ourselves in front of everybody when we go to play. And so I think if we want to take a next step, we need to be challenging in Europe. I do agree with that. It's up for Europa. I think Europa spots would be perfect for us. Mathematically, mathematically, and this is I have to say that, you guys, mathematically it's still on, but it's a long ways away now, and I just want to caveat that by saying the Filth look excellent today.
I didn't watch it.
Other teams in and around us are playing good. And if we're not able to put away teams like Wolverhampton Wanderers, I don't know how worthy we are of a top 4 finish. I would not be upset if we finished 5th, 6th, 7th. I think that's
going for. I mean, Man United worry me more than Villa do, to be honest.
I agree, Brad.
Yeah, and Man United seem to get ahead of
Villa, if I'm honest.
Villa, I think it's if it's between us and Villa, I'd give it a 50-50. I think we're, I think we're good enough to finish above Villa. You know, they lost last week, we lost this week. You know, it swings and roundabouts. But Man United seem to keep winning. That's a bit of a worry that they get this head of steam up.
I just feel like there's still so much house cleaning to do before we invite anybody over, if that makes any sense. I just feel like we need to cross some T's and dot some I's, right? We still have some work to do before we want to go dancing with the big boys. And I'm okay with that because I see progress and I see the heart from a lot of these players that were considered dross last season. And they're showing fight, which a person like me can definitely appreciate. You know, I appreciate the fight in these players. Today, it wasn't there from everybody. You have games like this. There are one-offs. There are, some games. You do get these in banana peel games in throughout a season. So which is why I feel confident saying 6th, 7th, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I think we'll finish fifth. I mean, because you asked me where I think fifth.
You think fifth?
Well, Ryan
I
G's
think
confident.
fifth,
Ryan
Harry,
G's
with the
confident
hopes
from Luton
of
winning
Europa.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we wrap up for today's show, where are we finishing?
6th.
Oh, nice short answer from you. What's going on there?
Because everyone else
No mucking about.
You feeling all right?
Well, do you get some long-winded explanation? We're not good enough for top 4. If we can't beat Wolves, we're not good enough to finish top 4.
Absolutely right, Haz.
It's
I
hard
couldn't agree more.
argue with that to me, but let's not lot Wolves. They're a decent team.
No.
Right.
It's not
We should be beating them at home.
Exactly
Don't get me
right.
wrong. I said at the start we should be winning every single home game. I don't care who we play. We should be winning our home games. But Wolves are a decent team, so
it doesn't make me worry for Palace already because we just about scraped against Brighton. So.
Although the one thing that worries me about Palace is that they're going to have a new manager, aren't they? Probably, so they might have a new manager bounce. So,
but part of me thinks that'll be better than Roy Hodgson. He will sit back and will know how to.
Do you think Jose went to Palace? That'd be crazy.
No,
don't be silly. No,
He's
don't
done.
be silly.
He's done club-wise.
That kind of wraps us up nicely for today's show. So,
where do you think we're going to finish, Harry? Did you say where?
Oh,
yes,
good question. Yeah, it's a good question. I did say fourth, but no, Ryan's going to hit me again. But if you can't beat Wolves and Wolves get 6 points over you, there's no disrespect to Wolves. I think they're a good opponent under Gary O'Neill, but ultimately they're going to be finishing probably just outside the European places, and we want to be in it. You know, it's a bit concerning. So at this moment in time, I'm going to say fifth. I think we'll beat Aston Villa to fifth. I think it'll be Man United to get that fourth place. I think Chelsea, be honest with you, they have a really strong end to the season, but too far behind for me to catch as well. I hope so.
We can finish 7th, but it kind of depends if we could go finish.
All right, don't start your negativity again. But thank you very much, everyone in the chat. Thank you for all your fantastic questions. So big up to each and every single one of you, even if you're a Wolves fan, Ryan. Enjoy the victory while they last.
Yeah,
you
deserved it.
You deserved it. You played well. We weren't great, and we lost. So what can I say? But thank you very much to all three of you. Firstly, Leo, talk to me a bit about where people find you on social media.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Leo, Mile High Hotspur. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I'm part of Colorado Spurs. I'm a diehard Tottenham Hotspur fan. And I do match day vlogs with my mates from here at Colorado Spurs. My YouTube channel is Mile High Hotspur. And I encourage you to hop on over, show some homies some love. I do podcast streams every once in a while. I leave that to the pros. But you know, I'm always in the chats and I'm always showing love to all the homies. I encourage everybody to just be positive in life, show some love to everybody. And if you can make somebody smile, 3 points, a loss, a defeat don't mean anything. If you can make somebody smile, that's what matters.
Nice one, Leo. Nice one.
Yeah, well, very well said. So go check Leo out on socials. People should know about now. Yeah, Matt shows it that we kind of do. But where can people find you?
Well,
not that people want to find you, but if they do,
apart from being on your shows on an emergency on Monday night, but and on a Friday night, so you can find me on this channel normally on a Friday night. Most Friday nights of the year, actually. I've only missed, I think, one in the past year or so, I guess, since we've been starting doing the Friday night preview show. So you find me on this channel. You can probably find me on Harry's channel. But also, I do have my own channel, Hotspur TV. So now I do post-match reactions. It'll be out tomorrow morning. I've already filmed it. So it's not as brutal as I thought it would be, but because I kind of calmed down by the time I got back.
That's good. Good choice.
But so the match reaction will be out, and then I should be able to sneak in a stream next week at some point because we have got 2 weeks without a game, so it's going to be a bit boring, I think, for a couple of weeks. Because they'll be postponing the Chelsea game because of the cup final, so I don't know when that's going to be played. So our next game will be Palace. I'll probably get the stream out maybe tomorrow or later in the week. And so please subscribe to Hotspur TV. But you can also find me here on this channel and on Harry's channel on a regular basis.
Answer this comment. I've already done that. I've gone head to head with Stel about the ownership, about Richarlison, Johnson, Werner. It went on for about an hour and a half, and it was tasty. So go check that out.
Surely not. I can't believe that.
Surely not.
No, they did do it. Brad, they did do it.
Oh, right.
It was interesting. Yeah, we'll be doing it at the end of the season as well, so I've got to come back to that. Me sitting there saying we're going to get top 4, and I kind of regret that. But we'll worry about that when we get to it. Still might be right. I hate to say it, but Brad,
we'll hold you accountable for it. That's the thing you need to.
Right. Well, I'm not on a lot of shows these days. I used to be on quite a lot of shows. I'm not on a lot these days.
Because we used to be on Tommy's together. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I am my other passion in life is music. So Blue Sofa Songs is in the title. I basically write songs. I play all the instruments, guitar, bass, keyboards, sing, write the lyrics, write the music, use drum loops, and occasionally I'll put out a video with me basically miming the song, but it's all me, or I might put other stuff on. So Blue Sofa Songs. There should be another song being uploaded next Friday because I've had a little bit of a break. There's on there. And I've always also because I try and keep it away from football, so there's no thing about.
Yeah, to be fair, Brad's channel is a lot more happy.
Yeah. Well, some of the songs are heavy, actually, I have to say, yeah. But I did promise that if Tottenham get to a final, I will write a Tottenham song. So hopefully I'll be writing one next season. I thought I might be writing one this season, but it's please check out Blue Sofa Songs. It's just me trying to write songs. So there's a bit of politics in there which you may or may not agree with, but that's fine. We've all got different opinions. There's some heavy songs in there. There's some light songs. It's just me trying to make a living, or not make a living, but trying to write songs. So yeah, please go to Blue Sofa Songs, give it a like, subscribe, share, all those wonderful things, write a comment, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, go check all these guys out on social media. If you want to follow me, you can there, HarryScar22. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe to Spurs Kings TV. My match preview on my own channel, Scarfy Spurs Talk, is out. Matchday vlog will be out 10 a.m. tomorrow, and I'm hosting this week's show on Park Lane Podcast Sunday 7 p.m. I'm on Holly Hotspur show Monday night 7 p.m. I've got my own show 8 p.m. and Tuesday I'm on John Sinclair's channel where we do a Newcastle and Tottenham combined kind of talk, if you like. So yeah, go check that out. Busy next few days, but I absolutely love it. So thank you very much. Check out my channel, check out all these guys, and most importantly, subscribe to South You Coys and admit it, I'm a better host.
Spurs Kings TV.
Sorry. Yes. Oh, cool. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Spurs Kings TV. Spurs Kings TV. I'm absolutely awful. Maybe I won't be taking Marlon's job. Damn it. But that is it for this week's show. So, as we always say, come on, you Spurs.